We're recording.
What?
Welcome,
We're recording?
guys. Welcome to the first episode of our new hit reality TV show, Keeping It Lou.
Keeping It Lou.
Starring Lou Ortiz.
I
With
had
Lou
no
himself.
idea. But it doesn't feel real.
And Paul and Trey are also here.
Why am I reading a script?
It's like the Andy Griffith Show, but better. There he is. Right on.
All right. Well, I have no idea what is about to happen in this show, but I do know we've been wanting to do this for a long time.
Let's also be honest. We don't know what's going to happen. I don't think Lou even knows what's going to happen on this show.
When you have an abnormal brain, it wasn't just young Frankenstein, you know.
He got brains for two, you know? Or whatever was left over from Frankenstein's monster. That's awesome. Well, hey, we've got Lou here, Lou Ortiz. This is Annie's dad, Annie's father. He's also a truck driver by profession, a music enthusiast, a storytelling machine.
I'm also a musician.
Yes.
He's also a musician. That's right.
I play
That's
percussion.
Wow.
He crushes the
Percussion
percussion.
instruments.
And
Percussive.
I feel like any room or party you go into, you just bring it to the next level.
Yep.
You're just
Oh.
like, this party seems fun. What if it was better? That's what you do.
That's
Yeah.
really I had no idea. This is a brand new. It's like a brand new Lou.
Yeah. You're hearing other people talk about you, and you're like, what the?
What is that? Me?
Yeah, we're not supposed to say nice things in front of each other. So,
Oh, maybe.
and that's what you're like, what's going on here?
Yeah, when you're not used to stuff like that, you're thinking, it's like the Twilight Zone.
You're like, what do you guys want, money or something? Or and actually, we do. Follow us on
A
Patreon.
nice contract. I would like a nice contract.
Nice.
Long term.
Just pulling out those green M&Ms. That was just killer.
I hate those green M&Ms. You notice the colors are different, but the flavor is the same. So why keep it? Why not keep it brown? It tastes like brown.
Do you think?
It doesn't taste like red?
Do you think some people think it tastes like different flavors?
Yes, and those people are not my friends. Those are the kind of people you want to, not get to know very well.
That's true. So
Oh yeah.
I know for the people not watching, which is probably most people listen to us, which is kind of nice. They don't have to look at us.
Oh no.
But
no.
they're missing something great. here.
Yes, they are missing the.
The full experience.
I always thought, to myself, I always thought that I was the most handsomest guy I've ever met.
Yeah.
So, I maybe that's what they're missing. No one else thinks that, just me.
And, every morning I look in the
Only
mirror, I'm
me.
like, that's the most handsome man in the mirror right now.
Yeah, we're twins in that sense.
Yeah. So this is going to be a sobering episode.
Did you know I was born same day as President Trump?
Were you really?
June 14th,
No way.
Flag Day. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't realize our birthdays were so close either. I'm the 18th.
Really?
Yeah.
My sister was
Mine
June
was Paul
11th.
McCartney. That's the only guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he's a musician, so. But
That's
see,
true.
Trump and I are fraternal twins. He was
I don't
born
know what that
7
means.
years.
Oh.
Fraternal twins.
I was like, I don't know these scientific terms. So that's why we're not doing whiskey today.
Thomas and his sister, aren't they paternal twins?
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're fraternal twins because
Which
we had
always-
a 7-year separation.
That always
Trey,
confused me
you
when
would
I
know
heard
that, right?
paternal twins.
Trey,
Definitely.
are you
Definitely.
listening?
Did
Okay.
y'all not? Did y'all not prep him for me?
What, I'm sorry?
We didn't. I figured
Didn't
he knew.
prep him?
I figured he knew.
We don't say that name around here.
Remember,
Nah, I'm just kidding.
so I'm the more
We'll be
conservative, Trey's the more progressive
I
one,
gotcha.
which means
I'll keep.
he's got to follow with what they say, like Trump's not
Yeah.
good and
Yeah.
whatever.
I understand. Oh, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Away from that. Away from that.
And he's saying thumbs up. I don't like to get too political on here either.
No,
so.
no. The weather is great outside. Did you notice the weather is great outside?
It was like 106 in my car. The one
Yeah, but
this morning. Not this morning.
I
but-
love sticky warm
Yeah.
weather. I like
it's the
shorts.
best.
I like yeah. t-shirts, that kind of stuff, and then getting that sun in your face. I'm olive complected, but when I come to Florida, I'm really, really dark. I love it. I don't know. People don't like to get dark anymore. I don't know what's the difference.
I can't really help it. I just mayonnaise.
We're talking about dark people, not
Yeah,
you know.
sure. I don't have the same struggles as you guys.
Struggles.
I'm over here with sunburn,
The
and
struggles.
I'm outside for 2 minutes. I get tan sitting inside.
I understand.
But I will say I do love the weather here. Even in the summer,
It's great.
it's been very hot, but I
Mhm.
still really enjoy it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's kind of like a thing people aren't supposed to enjoy down here, but coming from Ohio, this feels amazing. And I'm also a pants guy, which is
long
surprising
pants?
for down here. But I'm like, I like wearing pants all the time. I only own 2 pairs of shorts.
Wow.
One's gym shorts, the other one's just regular shorts. I don't count the bathing suits or anything, but
I gotcha.
yeah, that's just what I do, and I can't seem to change it.
But what about Trey? What do you think about the?
What
warm
about
weather?
Trey? About that?
Ooh, he's in Georgia. Come on, baby.
Hey, we had a nice
Georgia.
day today. It's like, I mean, it was
No
rainy,
way.
but it's like 70 degrees right now. It's chill.
Hmm.
Oh,
It's
that's
nice.
nice.
That's nice.
It's not too humid, but no, I remember when I first moved to Florida, and like I chose fashion over comfort, and I was wearing like sweatshirts and pants like you, and middle of August, but it was worth it.
Dang.
You get used to it. You get used to it pretty quick. So.
Wow.
It's true. That's
get
the one thing
acclimated.
I do miss, and I'm sure I'll get back into it during like January and everything, is I do miss the layering that I could do in Ohio, especially during the fall. It's like I really enjoyed wearing layers. Like you've got like a cool like graphic T-shirt underneath and like a nice like flannel on top.
Mm.
It's like it was kind of a fun look, and I enjoyed that. I'm sure I'll get to do that again, but yeah.
You know what I've noticed about me is that I like one piece. So winter comes around.
You're just wearing onesies though. Yeah, my 4-year-old cousin do the same thing.
But that's only summer. That's when it's hot. When in the wintertime, I don't like the winter for a lot of reasons. Truck drivers, unless you're a sadist or a masochist, winter is not good for you because there's snow and ice, and you can either kill yourself or have an accident or something
Yeah.
bad, right? So I don't like the winters for that reason. I don't like skiing or anything like that. But when it comes to summer, it's easier for me because you're looking at shorts, T-shirt. You can wear a hat or not wear a hat. If it's too cold, for instance, what do you do when it's like 20 below zero? Wear more stuff. But
More,
here, when it's 95 degrees, you just take water, go indoors, maybe take a dip if you have a pool, and then do it again.
Yeah.
For me, it's just easier to live this way.
Yeah, that
My,
is
uh,
nice.
I enjoy Florida.
It is a lot. It's really
Talking
nice.
about truck drivers, my family's truck drivers. My uncle
Yeah.
was on a load through Miami during the summer. This is years ago, but during the summer, his truck didn't have AC, so he just went boxers driving down the interstate.
Well,
Yes.
you won't believe this. We won't get personal here, but truck
Uh-oh.
drivers,
Oh,
truck
what
drivers
you gonna
normally
say?
that's what they do. They if it's even in wintertime, because instead of stopping at a truck stop, if you just have to do number one, then they just
I
keep
see like
going,
a bottle or something.
and
Yeah.
they'll have a bottle and they'll keep going for
Most of the
100,
time.
200, 300 miles. And sometimes it's just more. It's easier just to stop and go to a rest area
Yeah.
and go to the bathroom. But there's truck drivers that they think, well, I got to be a man. 800 miles today. Let's go. I'm not going to stop. So that's called stupidity. But that's just me. That's just my opinion.
Well, that's why we have e-logs now.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
gotta stop. But
After you have to stop within 8 hours.
yeah,
And then you have to do at least 30 minutes. And so the best way to do that is you have to accept it. But instead of 30 minutes, I usually do 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, and sometimes 30 exact minutes. And I'm not going to wait for 8 hours. I may stop after 2.5. I think you have to stop. You start
by
getting
8
your-
hours.
Yeah,
Before 8
hours.
hours. Yeah. So anytime
but you
before
have
8
to-
hours.
And you have to do it after you've been driving for 3 hours. That's when you can take a legitimate break, because if you do it after 2 hours, then later on you still have to do your 30-minute break. So it only clocks clocks your 30-minute break after 3 hours and before 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's got to be after 3 hours. So
And then 11 hours
yes,
total,
sir.
right?
Driving, and then 14
Yeah.
hours total work.
On the clock. Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
so what happens when you have all this experience? I've got 2,000 years driving, 16 years, right? 16 years. And what you discover is that depending on what company you work for, I work for a very open-minded company. So if I have to, take a 30-minute break 30 minutes after I drive, that's what I'll do. And then I'll take another one in 2 hours if I'm really, really tired.
Yeah.
Which is not very often, right? But if that's the case, you may have to take 4 breaks because first of all, you know your schedule. You should know how far you're going and how long it's going to take and how fast you can go. I can go 77 miles an hour. Places that allow you to do that. Most trucks cannot do
So
that.
we almost had to bleep that.
You can't do that in California. But, in Texas, Utah, Arizona, you can go 77 miles. And no one is allowed to do that, almost no one. So I keep passing people. Most companies, they want to save fuel. So they govern the engine at 70 miles an hour, which is as fast as most people can go. So if I can go 77, I'm very happy because I can get to these places faster.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
It's a good company.
But hey, we also
Enough
got,
with the
we gotta stay
outside.
we gotta stay hydrated.
Oh, hi to who?
Hydrated.
Oh, yes.
She's very pretty.
That talking thing. Whew. My throat.
We had to do shots, so that's what we're doing. But it's a water
Gotcha.
shot,
And this is petrified water again? I forgot.
petrified water. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
It's not my
It's-
favorite,
it's-
but,
Hey, it's good stuff though.
it's let's try it.
All right, so this is a sober episode.
Yeah.
This is the first time
Emily,
all
we've-
three
we've
of
never
us.
done one of these before.
Both of us have been sober as well.
Yeah.
I
What?
might get some Baileys in a minute for my coffee, but
Bailey's
No.
ice cream?
yeah, I've got some in the fridge. I might get some. No, but anyway, so
I must made
sober
a little
episode.
Irish. I
Is
thought
that
about it.
something you want to speak to, Lou? Is that a conversation you want to spend 5 minutes on?
You mean being sober?
Yeah, sober,
As far as like
alcohol,
not drinking
Christian
on the
life.
yeah.
Oh, as far as and it probably has very little to do with Christianity, but it also has to do with Christianity at the same time. Because I'll drink a beer. I'm not a complete sober person as far as drinking. It's
You're not a straight edge.
That's the wrong word, sober. But it has so many meanings.
As far as alcohol, you're
Where's my
sober.
thesaurus? As far as alcohol. All right. So no, I'll drink a beer every now and again. For instance, if I'm home, whenever I'm home, let's say for 2 days, and let's say my wife buys beer. This last time I was home, she bought beer that she didn't like. There was 4 bottles left. So I was there for 2 days. I drank all the bottles, but I was at home, and these are semi-small bottles. And that's the last time I had beer was then, and that was about a month ago. So when I go home again, even if if my wife buys beer, and she doesn't buy beer all the time, we don't have alcohol in different places, then I'm not into anything that's like hard liquor,
Like whiskey or bourbon.
whiskey, bourbon, scotch.
Yeah.
I'll drink it, but it may be once or twice a year, and it'll be one shot. So I'm not sure if that's maybe sober. I don't know, but it's.
I think as far as most people go, it'd be like, it's pretty. It's pretty much
sober.
like, yeah, you don't drink.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't drink. I don't drink.
Yeah.
I don't do Coke. Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
Pepsi Cola.
Yeah.
Soft drinks as much, but I still do it. So I'm trying to get into the water and no juices either.
So you taste the different notes of each water. You'd be like, that one tastes like the Southern Mountain.
No, I
and,
go with one of my daughters, Kayla. She
Yeah.
suggested I drink spring water, and compared to purified water, or
because those have more minerals and stuff in them, don't they?
yeah, they're supposed to be better.
That's what they
for
say.
you.
Yeah.
Or they're supposed to lack all the fake stuff that's
Okay.
they put in water to make it sweet, to make it more expensive. So why
Yeah.
even buy it?
Just funny. It's like, why would I want sugar in my water?
Same with coffee. I drink
My ingredients should be water.
water. Period.
You're done.
All done.
Very easy label.
What's in your water? Water.
I hope it's just water.
What color is that? That's not white, is it? It's kind of like a bluish color. What is that?
So, but it's funny, I guess, to add to that on our side of it, I don't know if Trey, maybe if he's changed his habits up, but like we really don't drink that much all the time either. Like I really don't drink that much outside of the podcast. I might like if someone's over, I'll have like a beer or like make a mixed drink. But last weekend we had people in town and they were on vacation mode for sure. And so I was on half vacation mode and I was making them drinks and stuff. I was like, this is a lot of fun. But I was like, my body was feeling it.
Hey, that's
so this is great that we're doing like a more sober episode, and I'm not a coffee drinker, so I'm trying to be. I'm like, I love the idea of coffee, but I'm still getting used to the idea of drinking it. So this will be fun.
What Trey said, you asked why am I guess sober, the drinking part with the Christianity thing.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Annie's wedding, where I met a lot of the Yulee family brothers, and at least two of them were, at least one of them, I should say, admitted that, I'm feeling pretty good, and he was trying to apologize to me for drinking too much, and my first response was, well, this is the wedding, and you're here, you're feeling pretty safe. I know you're feeling pretty good. Maybe that's something you do on a regular basis. I don't know. He says, no, I don't do it all the time. But today, it's a special day. And I said, there you go. It's a special day. And if you're feeling good, that's great. Don't forget, there's people that can help you go home.
Yeah.
And so, and this guy's a Christian.
Yeah.
And he's feeling pretty good.
That makes me think of. It makes me think of like when Jesus turned the water into wine in John 2 for a wedding. I mean that culturally you were actually expected to indulge. Like they didn't drink all the time, but during festivals and weddings and ceremonies, man, they went all in. So
yes, a special occasion. It's a day, like you said. It's a special day. Not a special month.
And no one's driving home. Those people live in that community. Yeah. So they're feeling kind of different.
It takes them a little longer to get home than normal.
But someone was helping them.
Yeah.
I mean, those days, it was, people were celebrating, and some guys were not celebrating as much because it wasn't their thing. But those are the guys, like the children maybe, would take their dad home or something. So, it was safer in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true. But hey, we're drinking Hillcrest today. We got your request, dark roast.
Thank you. That's called Hillcrest? Is that a...
That's the name of the coffee shop.
Oh.
So it was funny. So I walked in because I really don't know much about coffee. All right. So I was like, all right, I want 2 cups of coffee. And they're like, okay, what do you want? I was like, well, that's a great question. All I know is dark roast. And I was like, and it doesn't matter which country it's from. He's like, okay. So I have no idea where it's from. So maybe you can, with your exquisite palate.
Exquisite. Don't give me so many compliments. I'm normal. Remember, I'm normal.
That's fair.
I'm like everybody else.
With your below average palate, maybe you could...
That's so much better.
Maybe you could say like, it doesn't taste like water.
As long as you don't compliment me all the time, I'm feeling good. Okay, here we go.
You know how badly I wanted to say something nice? It's like, think of something quick, Paul.
No. So I you know what I like is the reason why I like, first of all, I drink black coffee. There's no additives or anything like that, no sugar.
That's what this is.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I went the same as you. I got to do the same as the guest.
Okay, thanks. You're so brave.
I know, we'll see.
Brave heart. So,
I got a lot of hearts.
I like Indian coffee. I like African coffee. Almost all the African coffees that's dark roast, it's really, really strong. And there's a thing called Sumatra, which is Indian coffee. And that's strong, but it has it goes down smooth. It's hard. I guess it's easy to explain. It's a strong coffee, and it's like African coffee, but when you drink it, it's a smooth feel compared to African coffee, which is strong. Just you're thinking, should I have added milk to this? This is so strong. Whoa, but no. But so you what you do is you go through, like in this case, you go to this place that is probably different from Starbucks. Yeah. Starbucks different from other
I like to
companies.
support local. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Or a place that, in my case, being a truck driver, if I get a chance to stop somewhere like a small city and they have, I don't know, something called grounds for support or something, coffee, right? I'll go there, and this whole place looks like that's where they make their coffee. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like they roast everything right there, and there's metal everywhere, wood. It looks like something you've never seen before, and
That's
you taste
cool.
their coffee. And you think it's only $4? What about $5? This is worth $5.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's so you have to.
That's
but
cool.
It's got to be black. And when you taste it, in my case, when I taste something like that, I'm thinking I don't want to go back every month. I want to go back maybe once a year so I can
Keep it a
feel
special
that same-
occasion.
yeah, that flavor.
That's cool. I'm excited to hear what you think about this.
So am I
We'll cheers
drinking
it.
this?
Yeah. That's for you. That's yours. Cheers.
Was that
Cheers.
just- cheers.
We got to cheers it still. Cheers to Trey.
Right on. So, this it goes down smooth.
Yeah.
But it's not as strong as African coffee.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure what roast it. What kind of roast it is. But maybe
Dark
dark.
roast.
but the beans could be Arabica.
Oh, sure.
Is it Arabica? I don't know how to pronounce that.
I have no idea.
That almost all the coffees have Arabica beans in them. But when Arabica, thank you. Well, I think what makes it different is that they have those beans in Sumatra coffee, but the Sumatra coffee has the Indian beans also, and they just roast them together, and so it makes it into that Sumatra flavor compared to, I don't know, just regular black roast, dark roast from America or whatever.
Okay.
I'm just
That's
guessing
cool.
because I don't know. I'm just
You're spitballing.
experiencing.
Well, how do you rate this?
Spitball.
How do you rate this cup of coffee?
I like it.
Cool.
So it's
Because I have no frame of
so
reference.
Out of 5 stars, I
Yeah.
gave it a 5.
Oh, nice.
And this may not be the best coffee in the world, but for me, it's a 5. So it's good.
It's the best one you're drinking.
I would do
right
it
now,
again.
Right?
That's it. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah, that's it.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
No, it's dark roast is dark roast for me. So it's like I'm sure if Annie was drinking coffee, whatever brand it was, if she adds her milk and her all that stuff that most people do, then that's good coffee.
That's cool.
I'm thinking.
I like that approach. I think we actually had a similar conversation about music as well, which
My favorite subject, by the way.
I know that's why I brought it up. It's one of mine too.
What about you, Trey?
Do you enjoy listening to
Trey
music?
should be a musician.
I like music.
Right?
I'm not good at it. I like it.
Can you dance?
No.
You can't sing.
You didn't see him at the wedding?
Oh.
He was the one with the tie over his head.
Yes, that was excellent. I had no idea you were that good. I wish I would have taken a video.
I think there's some around somewhere we could find. Little
I
Patreon
suppressed that
exclusive
memory.
content
I
there.
pushed that one down.
We can call that the hanging tree dance.
You're right.
Ow! Come on, Trey. Come on.
So the one thing, I don't know if you went through something similar with this, but I know with music for me, I went through a point when I was younger that I was very pretentious about the music I listened to.
Pretentious?
Yeah, where it's like, well, it's not this person or not this style of music, so obviously it's not that good. And that was kind of an attitude I had toward it, especially toward pop music, very, the modern popular artists and stuff. I was like, they suck because everyone likes them and their music's not good. They're not this person. And it's like,
sure.
And it's like, even if there was any merit to that, now I'm kind of in a place where it's like everyone has something to offer, and some people like it, some people don't. But whatever an offers, it's like they're trying to express themselves that way.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is more popular for a lot of people. Some of it's very, very niche. But it's like everyone creates music, and it's good in its own way.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. And then in my case, I like change.
Yeah.
So jazz is a perfect type of music for me. But I also don't like I'll rephrase that. I enjoyed listening to a trio, piano, drum, maybe a saxophone or piano, drum, and bass player. Especially stand-up bass, the double bass.
Oh yeah.
Compared to electric bass, which is, I guess I'm old school possibly, but
I like the slap bass. It's always fun.
but my favorite thing is, and The reason why I like change is because I grew up with my old man played they call it salsa today, but in those days it was whatever rhythm that so-called salsa music was. So they had a thing called guabanco, which is lots of traditional African religious rhythm. They had a thing called guaracha where you play a gourd,
Oh yeah.
one of those, or maracas, and so that makes it a guaracha. It's like cockroach or something. Oh, so there's like or there's a bolero, which means ballad. So it's a slow love song, romantic song, and after you've let's say there's 40 different bands. And if they all sound alike, then why listen to 40 different bands?
Yeah.
So my favorite thing about music is that it keeps changing. I just don't like that in some cases it changes to where you don't understand what the guy is saying, or that now you have electronic machines instead of a great saxophone player, or who would not want to listen to Miles Davis,
right?
Or the great saxophone players of art. Wynton Marsalis, another great trumpet player.
I even think of like Victor Wooten, who's one of my favorite bass players.
Oh yeah.
Guy's great. Yeah.
So that's live, and people want. That's why the machines didn't work. The synthesizers of the 70s or the 80s, I think. It was fine, but you needed that super duper monster musician who can do whatever he can on a drum kit, or if he's missing a key a key on his saxophone, he can put his finger in that hole and make it sound just like he didn't wasn't missing anything. Whoa. So
it's kind of funny too, because right now, more out of necessity, the music I've been writing and producing, it's more like electronic based. Just because it's like, I don't have a drum set that I can record with. So it's like I have to use electronic stuff. But what makes me laugh about it is I spent all this time like writing the drum beat, I put it all together, and then I spend more time making it sound like a person.
What?
Because it's like, oh, okay, it's too perfect. So I need to like very strategically go in and like move each note so it's a little off beat.
Oh, I
need
see
to add some kind of.
It's a machine. You're
Yeah,
working on a machine.
Exactly.
Okay,
I need to add like saturation so it sounds dirty and a little muddy. I need to add some room noise to it. And it's like all this to make it kind of sound like a person's playing it. So it's kind of funny to hear. It's like, yeah, we still desire that human element to music, because that's part of what makes it good.
Yeah, in my case, I I know no one believes this, but I became a musician after I was born again, right? So God is saying, you're okay kind of a guy. You went to the right church. You met the right, woman to be your wife. So at this church, they're looking for a percussionist, and you are that guy. And I had no idea that I was going to be on stage for 20 some odd years. But the way it works is that, first of all, I like music, and yes, my sister bought me a set of bongos, which I didn't know how to play. But I had the timing and the rhythm for it. I just didn't play them very well, but I put them on the side. So it's like having a guitar that you mess around with. That's how it was. So then one day you come to this church, and they're looking for administrators, and everybody wants to be in the administrative field. So I thought 50 people is enough. They won't select me. I can only type. But they're looking for musicians. Percussionists. And the percussionist that was on the worship team left. Not to mention, I learned that he was not very good. Everything was loud. He played a conga very loud all the time, loud. And so I'm thinking, that's not a conga player. When you know a little bit about percussion, growing up listening to that kind of music. So I said, I can play tambourine. And I said, okay, good. Come back Wednesday. So I went to this music store, and for $100 I got a set of bongos, professional bongos. I thought I knew what the professional bongos look like.
Yeah,
I've been to enough concerts, right? So he had these used professional bongos, which were the skins were intact, everything's fine, and he also sold me some instruments, a shaker, a tambourine, different shakers, that kind of stuff. And I thought, I'll just look at I remember what I saw this guy do on TV, and that's what I'll do. So I showed up to to that practice.
Yeah.
And shook the tambourine like I knew how to do it. And they were surprised, the worship team. They didn't know that I didn't know anything about music. They didn't know that I never played anywhere but, near my sofa at home.
So I want to...
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, finish real quick.
No, so the bottom line was I had no idea. I didn't read music, nothing to do with being part of a band. So to make it a long story short, that same Wednesday, they wanted me to show up on Sunday. So that's because I did this bongo solo, which the bass player, who was a professional bluegrass player.
Yeah.
He knew all sorts of big time names. He was on our worship team. He says, I've never seen anyone play bongos like that before. The first thing I thought of was, it was negative, well, he wasn't trying to give me a compliment, but everybody else said the same thing. Well, two more people said the same thing. That's pretty good. I'm thinking, they don't understand. I'm in the right place.
This is perfect.
Eureka. So, then I was part of the team for 21 years from there on. I just added more, instruments, congas, 4 congas, bongos, shakers, tambourines, whatever you can think of, like 30 different instruments. And I was allowed to play whatever I wanted to.
Yeah.
Even though everybody on the team at least half were professional at some point in their lives, with our worship teams, from other churches.
That's cool.
And getting trained professionally.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm done.
No, that was awesome. I want to bring this up too, because I'm sure some people, I forgot to introduce the topic in the beginning, because we just got we had so much fun going into this. But honestly, this is the topic. You're like, what's happening here? So I know I read this to you earlier, and I'm gonna restate it. So this is a quote I just heard today, actually. I paraphrased it because I heard it on a podcast, and I was too lazy to go back and listen to it again and write it down. So I was like, I'm just gonna remember it. So this is from N.T. Wright.
Yes.
It was a podcast that he was on talking about the gospel. And one of the things that he's like, question people ask me a lot of times about words. He's like, well, what's your favorite book? He says, the concordance in the back of the Bible. And so
strange.
it's like it's a
you
weird
explained
go-to. Yeah. And so what he says with that, he's like, what's great is you get this view into this world that we don't have much context around. So it's like we can read a word in English, but he's like, what does it actually mean to those people? And a concordance can help you go into that. But he said, but in and of itself, it's not good enough. You need that word inside the narrative, inside the context. How is it used? We joked earlier about the word bad, where it's like, oh, you can read it and be like, oh, the way you said it, Paul's a bad man. But then it's like, yeah, but let's look at the context of how he said that. And
Right.
Paul's a bad man. It's
Lots
like,
of A's.
yeah, it's like that means the complete opposite now. It means
It
something
does.
totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, when you look at the word in and of itself, it can give you a view into everything, but it needs the narrative to give it life and really add the meaning to it in a lot of ways. And so I put that in the same category as looking at a person's life. You can't just judge someone based on one particular moment and say, I've got this person figured out. It's like, what's the narrative of their life? I thought about even for myself, it's like if I was to base my life on a few defining moments, my life would be very different. It's like, but it's the narrative, it's the struggle, the journey. We like talking about Job here. It's the journey of like, okay, so here was this moment that happened. Now what happens now? What happens next? What's the narrative of your life? And so you've been telling a lot of stories, which we love here, which is great. And that's part of what it is. Like that's the narrative, that's the experience. That's what you have to offer, which is, amazing.
That's too complimentary again.
I know that was too much. Honestly, I despise every minute of this episode. I can't wait until it's over. I'm counting down the minutes.
You're such an easy guy. Have you thought of seeing a psychiatrist, changing your ways?
Yeah, you told me to go home.
No, you know what I remember is all these little small things. I remember playing. Before basketball, I really didn't have anything that was interesting. But I started playing basketball when I was I think 11 or 12. And I had no idea. I never played basketball before. But I got on the court and I started watching these people play. And I got better at it. And then one day they had a 3-man tournament. I was 14 at the time, and we won that. The team, 3 of us won. The next year, I had 2 different guys on my team, and we won again. And so I was thinking, that's I haven't forgotten that, because that's what's happening today. You know, I work really well with people.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have really close friends, that's good. I enjoy not having close friends, because I look at their idiosyncrasies as time goes on. You know, if they do this or they do that, I'll remind them, can you do something else? And if I don't say anything, then what happens is I usually move on, or I don't see them very often. You know, an example is the people on the worship team, known them for 20 some odd years. We don't go out except maybe every now and again, have a lunch break, and I can see their idiosyncrasies. I don't bring it up. I'll just let it go, because I won't see them again for another, I don't know, month and a half. But I see them every Sunday, and we talk for a little while. And so I'm not sure where.
You've just been calling me out on all mine.
No, it's just, for me, it's easier to know people on the surface, and an exception is Annie and Kayla, and then whoever they're involved with. So if Annie has a husband, you know, Thomas, the husband,
it's my brother.
that guy, him, he and Annie are the same person, the way I look at it. He's now part of Annie's life, which means he's part of my life.
You better like those idiosyncrasies.
I love him. He has none.
You haven't hung out with him very much, have you?
I have. I don't know. I don't know. What does he have any idiosyncrasies? See,
Annie just said a lot.
Yeah, but Annie's different. She can put up with that kind of stuff. So, yeah, she hasn't learned that the negative part about, you know, the stuff that I do. So am I done? I don't know.
Well,
I'm so
Trey,
confused.
so you had a question you wanted to ask in particular. I knew you were excited.
Yeah,
for.
well, I mean, the first thing I wanted is just to get him on here and just to hear some stories, because I think anybody benefits from sitting in on. I'm just listening to the man talk.
Stories.
But anyways, no, I think
Storytelling machine.
Lou has more life experience than we do.
Yeah.
He's navigated more things than we have, and I thought it would be great. I think it's a great practice for people our age to look to those who have gone before us anyways.
Amen.
Amen. So here's Lou.
agree.
He's got some life experience. What would he tell us? What would he say? What advice would he give us? What advice would you give us?
Can I take this one?
For young, yeah.
I can answer for you. Keeping it Lou. That's what he is.
Just keep it Lou.
Just keep it Lou.
Be like me.
No, go for it.
I think this has nothing to do with Christianity, and it also has to do with Christianity at the same time, because I'm a Christian. We're people here are all Christian, and I'm also talking about people that are Muslim, that are what's the other one? Folks that knock on your door,
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Witnesses. The other so-called Christian sects, and the other religious groups.
The different denominations, I guess, to throw it in.
Yeah, denominations are all right. But also, you know, okay, the way I look at it is, when I was your age, I didn't have someone that I could listen to when it came to life, generally speaking. And then, which is really strange, I get older now. People are listening to me, but then, but now when I was younger, and yet I had the same. I shouldn't say the same. Similar ideas about. I never went along with the tide. You know, people would say everything's blue. I would say everything's kind of dark blue, reddish blue. It wasn't completely blue, and there was always an argument. And so, when it came to leadership, when I was in the Navy, that's a good example. I couldn't be a leader because I was not a politician. I didn't like to compliment the boss every 5 seconds. I didn't argue with the guy, but I think people in the Navy want you to make them think that they're special, so that if you make them think that they're special, then they'll say, yeah, he's a good leader. Let's raise him, give him another stripe. But that never happened to me. So I had to leave. So going back to Trey, what would you say to young people? I think it all depends on that young person. So you guys are listening, and I'm guessing, I'm thinking that I'm teaching you something. Whatever that is, I don't know what you're going to learn from all this, but maybe one of the things that I've learned is I'm enthusiastic about dumb stuff. I like saying funny things. I like to keep in shape, not because I want to look a certain way, but that's a plus. That's because you want to be healthy. You want to be as healthy as you can if you're going to do physical labor, and you don't know when that's going to happen. What if you don't work out, and then someone says, "Hey, let's help Joe Schmo move the furniture," and that thing weighs 300 pounds. Okay, great. So what happens to your back? Yeah. So in other words, you want to keep healthy, not because God says so. That's the reason why you want to do it. That's a commandment. But you want to do it because it's the right thing to do. You've got a physical world, so you have to be physical sometimes. All right, getting back to the question again. Boy,
You never left it. You never left the question.
Okay.
You're doing great.
So I'm always so thinking about the Japanese. The young people respect the elders. They don't call them anything but elders, older people. My dad, my uncles, whoever they are, they sometimes bow to people that are 20 or 30 years older. These are not everybody, but people that they know, younger people. And they listen to what they have to say. Whether they're acting, it doesn't matter. There's that respect. And my thoughts are, if you become let's say you're acting about respecting someone and you do it on a regular basis, that's something positive. And it's going to affect you. And you'll stop the acting part, and you'll realize that really helps. I wanted to learn something about that individual. What is he saying? Is he saying something that's going to be important for me? My relationships, the way I think about bettering myself. It's not about college or trade school. It's about what's success for you. Yeah. So if you're going to be successful, how's that going to work for you? What are you going to do? And then something I just learned the other day, successful people, they stay on that one thing. So you invented, I don't know, paper clips, and you want to be successful. So how do you make that paper clip better each and every time you look at it? Okay, well, that's how there's.
Yeah, you make
someone
it red.
invented a paper clip and they became zillionaires. And then someone added plastic to it, and then someone
You're like,
made
what
a
if it
bigger
made it a
one?
little bigger? Yeah.
Bigger, and they now have these giant.
And then one guy traded a red paperclip for a house. I don't know if you saw that story.
No.
It was like a trading thing. You start with a red paperclip, and you trade it up until the point you got to a house.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It happens today. You see those shows on TV where people want to sell something. They invented something.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, food or a different way of making sushi, and then out of nowhere, those guys, they're trying to convince. They're not the ones that will make them rich. It's those people that are listening to the show. Yeah. And it's not all the time, but some guy's listening who's in Japan, and he has a sushi shop for forever, and he listens to this and he says, "Wait a minute, I don't speak English, but I think I want those people over here." Kaboom! I don't know. Am I done? I don't know.
All right, let's go over some of the things you've said, because this is what I've learned just by watching you, Lou, and then listening to your stories, which is why it's like you could just come on here and talk about whatever. We're still going to learn something. One, because I think you're just an extremely insightful guy, but two, because I think the fact that everybody bears the image of God can teach us something about God. So and humanity and the way to live. So I guess I've heard you say you're the kind of man that swims against the tide. And that's something I respect about you, given our difference in political beliefs. Like, you come from you live in a blue state. You've lived in a couple of blue states, and you go red. I'm a red state
Ultra
man.
red, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Very
I know, Lou. I know.
I will make it so clear. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trey.
No, so and then I feel like in that way we've got our similarities in the opposite respect. I come from my red states, and I go extremely blue.
Okay. So does Kayla, my daughter. So there you go, and she's still alive. No one killed her. Good. Yeah. Good.
No, but
I interrupted you again.
No, you really didn't. That's all I had to say about that. But that is something I respect about you. And yeah, Paul, what do you think?
You know, before Paul, where are you? At someone's home or your home?
I'm in my home. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to school at Emory, which is in Atlanta.
Oh, is that EMORY, Emory? Or
That's right.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay. I think I've heard of it.
Yeah.
As a truck driver.
It's a very it's their main thing is like their health school. It's one of the best, most prestigious health schools in the country.
What do you mean health? Medical health?
Yeah. They're spitting out doctors like crazy.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So, and you went there because how did you find out about?
I had a professor at Southeastern link me up with the so they have a seminary that's part of the school. It's a Methodist seminary, and it's pretty phenomenal and well respected seminary across the country too.
Why Methodist?
Not anything to do with being Methodist. It's really location and you wouldn't know they're Methodist, honestly. It's so interdenominational.
But, well, no. In your case, I guess what I'm referring to is when you go through your seminary part, and let's say you become a pastor.
Sure.
Do you become a pastor of your choice? Does it have to be evangelical? Can it be Methodist? Can it be?
Honestly, I don't. I don't know who would ordain me. I don't know who would, but
oh no!
I'm sure you could find someone.
So it depends on who ordained you.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I mean, there's a lot of non-denominational churches where the pastor's not ordained by a specific denomination, or they are, and then they just don't put the church under that leadership. But that's a whole topic right there, is denominations and
I would love
having that community. You know,
that's one thing that I've been actually thinking about for a while. I think we talked about it, Trey. I'd love to get pastors who are willing to come on here and talk about their denominations, because something I don't really know that much about, and I want to learn more about, and I'd love to hear it. Have those conversations with those people. So if you're out there and you're listening, we'd love to talk to you. But if I could just kind of ringing us down a little bit, because we're getting close on time here, which is crazy. It goes too fast.
I've been here for 5 minutes, right?
It's been 5 minutes. Yeah.
7 minutes, 8 minutes.
Honestly, it feels like
longer.
5 minutes.
It feels
doesn't
like
it?
10 minutes.
10
minutes.
Man, we've been doing a bad job.
I'm perspiring.
You've been the one talking the most too. So
oh my! I'm supposed
You've
to
been
be
boring
the
yourself.
I should be teaching you guys. That's why I have to talk so much. That's what I heard.
We come in here to give you a few words, but
with that forefinger.
That's right.
Like my mama.
Just flicking the ear, right?
That's another great topic. Oh, I'm sorry.
But no, if I could, so I think just kind of bringing us down. Trey, you asked, what are my closing thoughts or my kind of from our conversation, and it's really a lot of what Trey said too. But on top of that, I love just the curiosity you have toward life. And I think that's something that we can all learn, and we should be, I guess, very eager to be excited about. Is just like, look at opportunities, look at like you said, the dumb things that you're interested in, and get excited about those things. Get curious about them. But I think on top of that, even we talked. I was talking a little bit about just people's lives. It's like people have something to offer. Some people have more to offer than other people, for sure. But everyone has something to offer. And I think we should point less fingers, and we should start asking more questions. Yeah, I think that's and that's what I love about what you bring to the table, is you've asked questions, you got excited, and you're like, oh, a little bit of that contrarian as well. Someone's like, hey, the water is blue. You're like, maybe.
What
and I think,
is in it?
Yeah, and I think that's great. I think that's something that it was something that I learned just in that process of growing up a little bit, I'm just a big kid now. So, I can wear adult pants. That's the difference.
With Winnie the Pooh undies?
Yeah, that's true. We said we wouldn't talk about that.
Oh, boy.
But that's the one thing that I definitely learned was realizing that my parents don't have it all figured out.
Right. I agree with
But
that.
that didn't give me liberty to say I have it figured out because I realized I know less than they did.
And even if your mom, in my case, she had a 5th grade education. My father was a high school graduate. I definitely, talking to other people, I definitely knew they didn't have all the answers. I got that, but I respected them as mom and dad.
Yeah.
As humans, you don't go out and say, Mom, foul language, blah blah blah, get out of my. No, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't the best of times, that's not up to me.
Yeah.
You just do the best you can with what you have. And then you learn what your mom and dad teach you, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Which is, how to be a better person. You've got a roof over your head. All the positives that mom and dad bring, right? And then you learn whatever education you have to learn from your teachers, from your anyone but your buddies. Yeah, you don't want. No, they're not good teachers.
They're more practical application.
Learn your lessons from your friends from what they do wrong.
That's a good way.
That's what my friends' families used to say about me.
From those buddies. Yeah. Once you learn what they did wrong, they're not going to change. You change.
Yeah.
You go away.
The whole thing, like, if your friends jumped off a bridge, would you follow? It's like, Mom, I'm the one leading the pack. It was my idea to jump off the bridge.
Who built that bridge? Well, me.
But I think that's the one thing that I will say, and here's a word I'm going to introduce at the end of our this conversation. But it's something I've talked to my friends about. I know we talked a little bit earlier about it too. It's the idea of the word sage. And I know I asked the question. I've talked to my brother about this as well, and some other friends. It's like, where did the sages go?
Yeah.
And I think it's like they're here. We don't want to listen. And
exactly.
And on top of that too, it's like we talked about the word elder as well. And we see that, especially in a church hierarchy, we have the word elder, very fundamental to that. And I think there are people, like we said, that have more to offer than other people. Some people are very good at imparting wisdom on other people, or really good advice. It's very palatable and makes sense. Other people aren't as good at it, but it doesn't mean they don't have anything to offer.
True. And
I think that's where it comes to us. For me, I think part of becoming an adult is recognizing that the adults don't know what they're doing either. We're all here just figuring it out. The only difference is they've had more time to figure it out than we have. And I think that's where I kind of want to walk away with this is like, who are the sages in your life? Who are those people that you can go to and ask them questions and learn and listen, whether you agree with it or not, listen to what do they have to offer, having more experience, having more time to figure it out than you have. And I think that's something that I want to encourage other people. I encourage myself as well to get curious about. Get curious, ask the question, who are those people I can go to and ask them these questions and learn from what they've experienced in the world.
It starts with you wanting, a young person wanting to know that I have something that I need to learn, which is just about everything.
Yeah.
Everything about life. So who do you go to? And unfortunately, today, young people are saying, well, I'm 21 years old. I'm 31. I'm whatever age that person is.
Honestly, I knew the most when I was 18 or 19 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew everything.
Me too.
I lost all that knowledge, so it went somewhere.
I met a 10-year-old girl who knew everything, so it all depends what.
And right now she's producing this
where
podcast, right now.
Oh, no. So the bottom line is, do you want to learn? And the other thing is, are you going to learn from the right people?
Yeah.
And is that right person there
Mm-hmm.
we're not talking about, being the sensei, right?
Right.
Like karate or martial arts. We're talking about a guy that you see every now and again, and you may think that, he could be a Christian guy. He went to the church, and he could have some insight for about three or 4 minutes, and I won't see him for another year. And if young people thought that older people, and I'm referring to even 10 years older than that, than that person.
Yeah.
They have something to say, but the bottom line is I think in my case I started thinking this way, where I'm now older. People look at me as an older person. I think when I was in my 60s, because
And I just learned that you weren't 55 earlier today.
I know. When you said 55, I remember going to this Burger King, and there's these. I'm not being self-gratifying or complimenting myself, but there's a situation where I would go to this Burger King when I was another trucking job, and as I'm leaving, this, I don't know, at 2 or 3 years of doing this off and on, like once a month at this Burger King, because the company's right nearby, and I'm leaving, these 3 teenage girls, I think they're high school kids, I don't know, they complimented me, and I was 55 at the time, and I thought, that is too. By the way, they're not the prettiest girls in the world.
Oh no!
Yeah.
All right, Lou.
Yeah. In other words, they were being nice, and I thought that's really cool. No, I'm not saying that people have to look a certain way. I'm just saying that it's nice to have people compliment you.
Yeah.
But then I'm also thinking, I'm 55. What I thought was I should be saying something smart and not being getting compliments from some young people. And so I by then I was a Christian for about 15 years by then. And what I was getting is, this is not what I'm here for. I'm here to be a little smarter. So I think that was the beginning of you call it a sage. I don't consider myself a sage or even someone that's really bright or intelligent, but that's me, because I'm always challenging myself. I'm looking for something else that I can learn. So I guess it's never ending, like exercise. You know, is my stomach still round? I need more exercise. You can never be satisfied if you're going to be into health. So you can never be satisfied with learning more about the Bible, God, people, yourself.
I think that's a great place to be with it too. It's like you're never going to learn everything.
No,
so
ever.
You got your work cut out.
It's a long journey.
But on top of that too, I will say, for you and for other people listening, is like, I think as someone who's interested and eager to learn from people that have lived a little longer than I have, it's like, I'm not looking for, this massive teaching moment where I sit and, think like, I'll never forget this moment. Or like the music's playing and, I just nailed all these nails with one hit. And, and Mr. Miyagi walks out, after waxing a car. It's like those moments can happen, but I think that, we can't manufacture those things. And it's
gotta be
overall
natural.
For me, it's like, for me as someone who's eager and I want to learn, it's like, I just want to hear. It's like for this whole episode, it's like, if you have stories to tell, which you got tons of stories to tell, and I love hearing them. It's like, I know we all love hearing them, and I think that for me, like that's what I want as someone who's seeking to find these sages, these people.
But what about me? You guys forget that I'm also learning.
It's all
something
about
from
me.
you.
It's all about me.
I'm what is it? Vain, self-centered, righteous. You name all the good things. That's who I am. No, but I'm learning something about Trey. I thought Trey was, all this time I thought Trey was, from what I learned from Annie and listening to podcasts, I thought Trey was Mr. Serious. Oh, how serious? Something funny, and Trey says, "Oh, that's really funny." Okay, instead of laughing.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. He'll probably even text you. That was really funny. Okay.
And you're like, and Paul's always on laughing gas.
Yeah.
He just came from the dentist every episode.
And then listening to the Tipsy Theologian.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. So
Yeah. Tipsy Theology.
all I hear is a one statement laugh, one statement laugh. That's Paul. But it's because I'm probably emphasizing your laugh compared to what you're saying. So I think this has taught me something. you don't laugh as much. Maybe it's because I'm here. I don't know, but but at the same time, you do. At the same, you're still
Yeah.
Paul.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing the your words, and laughter is not something I'm hearing. What's your next statement instead of what's your next laughter? So so being here in front of you makes it different. I can see what you're saying and your facial expressions, but on the radio you can't hear that. So all you hear is sounds, words, and so with Trey, same thing. I'm thinking this guy's smiling, he's laughing. I've got bad jokes, but he's laughing anyway. That's crazy.
Like he never cracks a smile, right, in your head.
Yeah, I thought, but this guy's so he can't be under 30 years old. He's got to be over 30 years old. How did Annie get to know this guy?
How did all the hope and joy escape him so young?
I mean, I can see why he wants to be a pastor.
Well, with that, do you have any closing thoughts for us?
Wasn't that a close
That was a great
thing?
close. I wasn't sure if you had anything additional. I was hoping you had something better than. No, I'm
You
kidding.
said my last words, and I thought, okay, I don't know.
More last words? No, that was great.
I guess last is a relative term.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So
Well, especially when we talk, it seems like
the never-ending last words.
yeah, right.
It's like a never-ending story. No, my closing words. I've had a variety of jobs, and so I think the bottom line is, if things are not working out, you got to be strong enough. I don't know if that's the right term. Do you need strength to keep moving on to different things because things are not working, or if you get canned or fired, are you going to hang on for 2-3 weeks with sorrowful whatever's in your brain? No, you should. Within a few minutes, you start looking for another job, and so that's what I keep doing. And in my case, I've got the best paying job, and that's what I'm looking for. We got to pay bills, so if I don't mind being gone for 10 days or 7 days or whatever it is, and knowing that more money means we can pay the bills, we can have money for vacations, that kind of stuff, then it's okay. It's not. I'm not going out of my way. I'm not suffering. I'm just looking at the bottom line. What's good for the whole family?
Yeah.
All right, then, and then your mindset also changes. You're thinking, this is what I need to do. I'm done. There's no emotions behind that. So you just go out and do the best you can. And if you need to be a pastor, I know Trey, from what I know right now, he'll probably run a church within a few years. That's my thoughts. So
We'll leave it out there. Yeah, we'll leave it open.
yeah, you just never know. It's always
The
good to
Tipsy
be
Church.
an employee, though.
It's a new denomination, Tipsy.
Tipsy LLC.
We're a tipsy church.
Trey, Tipsy. What's another T? Trey's Tipsy. Forget the theology part. Trey's Tipsy.
Theological.
And we'll come to church every Sunday and we'll play the game. Is he filled with the Holy Spirit or is he filled
with the Spirit?
That's my line. Let's make a deal.
No, but anyways, Lou, you have come on and given us some practical wisdom. You spoke like a true sage. I wanted to say that earlier when you were saying you weren't a sage, because that's exactly what a sage would say.
Interesting. I am not a sage, you mean? That's what they would say?
No. You said you weren't a sage, and I was like, that's exactly what a sage would say.
Oh, I gotcha. All right.
So, and I like that closing word on resilience. Yeah. That's what it is, man. Resilience.
Mm-hmm. That's an excellent word. I agree with that. We just, like the sage thing, I don't use that word. I just know that something needs to be done, and so you can't sit at home. Within a few hours, you have to start doing something. So what's more important, you or your family? Okay, what would Jesus say? Now what would Jesus do? What would he say? Because we can't be Jesus. We can't do what he does. But we can, at least think that this is what he wants. So let's do it. Let's do the JC thing.
Let's do the JC thing. All right.
And
well,
on
I
that,
think, I think we definitely kept it Lou today.
Oh,
Oh,
we
no.
kept it so Lou.
Oh, I feel such a. I'm sorry, go ahead. Nothing else. I'm not going to say anything else because I'll keep talking.
You know, I just wanted to say
over and over.
thank you to you
Thank
for
you.
keeping it Lou
Okay.
and keep it Lou.
Keep on
Alright,
keeping
Paul.
it Lou.
And I don't think
Paul,
I don't
Trey.
think you. I warned him before we started this. I was like, I'm gonna say that more than one time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll give you the backstory another time, but it's great. And thank you to Maximize Digital Media, Annie Yuli, for producing this episode. That's your daughter.
That's my daughter.
She's producing this
Come on,
episode.
Baby, come on. She is one producer.
She's gonna listen to what you have to say so many times.
Oh, that's right. And then when I go to my, by the way, I don't believe in dying. I'll probably get lifted. So I won't have a grave to go to. I won't be, I may have to get burned up, the body.
Yeah,
stays-
that's they're gonna see you just start floating. They'll be like, "Oh my gosh!"
No. This is going to happen at home, so no one's going to be watching anything. Yeah. So after
Awesome.
I get lifted up, Annie will be watching this, and she'll say, yeah. Not only was he sage, not only did he keep it Lou, but he got lifted.
Well, hey,
How
thank you guys for
ridiculous.
listening or watching or whatever,
yes.
however you're doing it. Maybe someone's telling you about it. That's cool too. But I just want to say thank you and keep it Lou.
And support us on Patreon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. That's a new one. Yeah.
Yeah. Check us out on
Patreon.
https://patreon.com/Tipsy Theology.
That's right.
And then also check us out on Instagram
That's right.
Are
at
you still on Spotify?
Tipsy_Theology.
Are you still on Spotify?
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah, we
We're on
roll
Spotify, Apple, whatever you're listening to. Speaking of sages,
But what's better, Patreon? Is that what you guys
Patreon's the
prefer?
best. Patreon's the best.
Okay.
we got
Definitely
new
Patreon.
stuff we're offering to people. We're gonna be doing a weekly devotional. We've got a newsletter we're offering as well.
Wow,
We've
wow.
got some bonus content. We've got some unreleased episodes we're gonna be putting up there, and just some Patreon exclusive content for those
Very
people.
cool.
So a lot of fun stuff.
That's
So
right.
check it out. And Trey, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna catch y'all on the next one.